People who are successful, they go into things with a mindset that they cannot fail. Now, it's not delusional. It is really this belief that we are channeling the last time we felt success, the last time we felt something go right. And that is where we're operating from instead of from a place of fear. Mindset, the people who are growing, and maybe you notice this too, the people who you admire in our creative industry, doesn't it seem like that they are focusing on their mindset? Even whenever they fail, they are reframing it in a way to grow. And mindset is something that I have to work on each and every day. In fact, the last 6 weeks have been really challenging for my mindset, if I'm being completely honest. Wouldn't it be nice if your art business loved you back? Hi, I'm Stacie Bloomfield. After years of trial and error and late night doodling, I went from being a coffee shop manager to running a vibrant 7-figure art business that I love. And now I'm on a mission to help more artists create an art business that they love too. So I invite you to find a cozy spot, pull out your favorite sketchbook, and listen in. It's never too late to chase your creative dreams. Welcome to the Art Plus Audience podcast. Hi, everybody. It's Stacie Bloomfield, and welcome back to another episode of Art Plus Audience, a podcast that helps artists grow their businesses, talk about what's really happening out there in the industry right now, and embrace our imperfections because we know that we can grow from them. I just got back from running a retreat for a mastermind that I run called the Creative Hive Mastermind. Now, you've probably seen other online educators out there advertise masterminds and be like, what the heck is that? Well, I remember feeling the same way the first time I was intrigued about masterminds years ago. In fact, I've been involved in now 3 different masterminds since 2020. And during that time, my revenue has, more than quadrupled, which is bananas. And we're not talking just online education. We're talking like what we're all here for, which is art business. Gingiber, the little engine that could, my baby business that I started when my baby was a baby, grew tremendously since 2020. Our wholesale accounts have grown. Our direct customer sales have grown on gingiber.com. Our Etsy sales have shrunk. The licensing has gone up and down and up and down. And right now we're on an upswing. But the cool thing is that I've been able to join masterminds myself that have helped me grow in areas that I wasn't an expert in. Because honestly, no one is an expert going into their art business. You all start out as beginners. And so I decided a few years ago to start a mastermind specifically for artists who want to grow the product side of their businesses. They may do a little bit of licensing and some services, but primarily artists who want to have brands and brands at scale. And what's really nifty about this group is I keep it really small, not more than, right now it's like 20-ish people. And it's people, many of them have come through my programs, Leverage Your Art. Many of them started in 2020 with my first iteration of my program and then have grown their businesses so much that they are now like seeking out their $100,000 in sales. And it's just a real privilege to get to guide people in these stages of their journey. But the truth is, it's not about me. And a mastermind really is not about the person leading it per se. It's about the people in the mastermind who share their collective wisdom with each other, share their experiences, share their expertise, their highs and lows, and everything in between. And so this all leads up to the fact that I just concluded a retreat. Twice a year, I run in-person retreats for my mastermind. They fly in from all over the world, and we come together for some fun, for some connection, and also 2 days of nitty-gritty getting down to business. And this year I hosted one of the retreats in Bentonville, Arkansas, which if you haven't been to Northwest Arkansas, it's a gem. My gosh, it's such a delightful place to be. And my cup is so filled up whenever I finish these retreats, because even though I'm there to facilitate and to bring in content and to encourage people and give my point of view, really leading this group is an opportunity for me to connect with the people in my community who understand what it's like to be a creative and balance the need to make art and also run a business. And it was just marvelous because what we did this time specifically is usually I bring in a lot of guest experts to teach. In fact, for years, I've relied on the expertise of other industry leaders to come into our group to challenge us and to help us with problems that we want to solve. But this year, we're really focusing on each other's businesses and how we can dig into the nitty gritty with each other and help problem solve. So what we did is a retreat pretty much filled with hot seats. So if you're not familiar with what a hot seat is, every mastermind I've been a part of does them. Essentially, you get to bring one problem to the group, one specific problem, and share it. And then the collective group responds and tries to brainstorm with you to help solve that problem. And so this retreat specifically was fantastic because by the end of the retreat, everyone walked away with a problem solved in their business. Whether it was how to grow a specific segment of their audience or how to launch a new small course to go with the products that they're offering, or how to balance life with business. And I even took a hot seat. I don't usually do this, but I'm brainstorming something new and I needed help. Also, something that's different maybe about how I run my mastermind is my leadership team from Gingiber comes in and pours into people too. And in truth, we have so many people in our mastermind that like I fangirled for years. And now they're in the mastermind and I'm getting to learn from them. We learn from each other. And so I guess what I wanted to say is, do you have a community of people that you're committed to showing up every week with each other and helping each other solve problems in your businesses? Because if you don't, you're probably missing out on a golden opportunity to grow in a way that you've never known before. So I took some notes because not only do I lead my mastermind, I actually also have been members of a couple of masterminds. I'm in a mastermind for non-art businesses right now. It's the only one I'm a part of right now. And I am learning so much from people who are outside of the creative industry, view things differently, view my business differently. I can't tell you how many of them did not know what a tea towel was, y'all. They didn't know what a tea towel was, and that's what Gingiber does. We're essentially a gifting company at this point that sells tea towels. And so not only have I gotten to share about kind of creative industries, the struggles that we have, the way I run my business, but I am also just observed in this specific room that I've stepped into, and I'm new to this group. I'm like the smallest fish in this pond. Couple of things that everyone has in common in this mastermind. And then I challenged my mastermind with these same points. And now I want to challenge you because what I'm noticing is the people who are able to grow their businesses, it doesn't matter what industry they're in. So I'm going to read. First of all, people are taking huge risks in these masterminds. The group that I'm a part of with right now, there are people with businesses much bigger than mine. There are people who've had businesses that are really large and have completely streamlined and started over. But what I'm noticing is this almost fearlessness to take risks because people who want to grow their businesses have to take risks. Now, risks are going to be dependent on like where you're at in your business. A big risk for you if you're in the beginning stages of your business might be investing in a course or buying a new laptop, right? Or investing in a brand new iPad. A risk can look different whenever you're already running a business that's profitable. So maybe it's investing in new equipment, or perhaps you're investing in like a new inventory management system that takes time to set up. Investment looks different depending on where you're at. But risk is something that we all have in our businesses. And when we play it safe, we don't grow. Sometimes we take big risks and it does not pay off. And that's a lot of what we're talking about in this podcast together are the decisions we've made that have kind of not resulted in what we wanted and how we recovered from them. Another thing that I've noticed is people are asking for help. They are asking for help. No one is too big for their britches or too prideful to ask for help in any mastermind that I've been a part of where people are actually growing. And I think for a lot of people, and I was there too for so many years, I didn't want people to know the messy mistakes I was making. I didn't want people to know when sales were slow. I didn't want people to know whenever I did not know what I was doing. And so the vulnerability that is required to be a business owner and grow requires reaching out and asking for help and not being afraid of the judgment that could come from it. Because in truth, most people aren't going to judge you. Most people want to help you, especially if you're building real relationships. So I have been inspired to ask for more help, even whenever I'd rather hide something that's not working, because that's how we grow. The next thing that I've noticed is mindset. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to talk about a book that I love a lot. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. And I probably should devote an entire podcast episode just to that book at some point. But I would highly encourage any of you to go and download it, listen to it at 2 times speed because it's a little slow in terms of the narration. But it is a book that will change your life in terms of mindset because people who are successful, they go into things with a mindset that they cannot fail. Now, it's not delusional. It is really this belief that we are channeling the last time we felt success, the last time we felt something go right. And that is where we're operating from instead of from a place of fear. So there is so much more to talk about with that book, but mindset the people who are growing, and maybe you notice this too, the people who you admire in our creative industry, doesn't it seem like that they are focusing on their mindset? Even whenever they fail, they are reframing it in a way to grow. And mindset is something that I have to work on each and every day. In fact, the last 6 weeks have been really challenging for my mindset, if I'm being completely honest. I went into April 1 feeling like I had mastered my mindset. I was reading my books every day. I was doing my morning pages and my meditations. I was kicking butt and taking names. April was really hard for me because I had been doing all the right things. And then I went into April and some things went sideways in my business. Now it's too recent for me to share exactly what went sideways, but I'll probably share it at some point in the future. But honestly, the setback that I had in April, it knocked the wind out from under me. And my mindset for a couple of weeks was really, really low. I mean, I had thoughts that probably all of you have. Like, am I a fraud? Imposter syndrome? Should I keep going? What if I just throw in the towel right now? Like, what kind of life could I have if I just stopped right now? These are all thoughts that I had. And so I went to therapy, like I suggest a lot, and I was able to get part of my mindset back on track. Now I'm still working on it, but the point is, you will always have struggles in your business, but the people who reframe those struggles and focus on their mindset as if it's inevitable that they're going to succeed, they are the people who truly do succeed. Doesn't mean they're not failing too, but the people who are growing are always coming back to mindset. It's skill and talent, yes. It's opportunity, but mindset has to be there too. The next thing that I notice is confidence. Now, I know that we all would love to have unwavering confidence in ourselves. And I actually think sometimes people mistake confidence for being extroverted, right? What does confidence actually mean? We want to have unwavering confidence, not because of the money that we make or the success that we have, but because of the mindset that we've already established. To have confidence means that you believe that you are able to do things. It's not just the mindset part. We're focusing in a little bit more. Confidence in your field, confidence in your subject matter, confidence in your medium, confidence that it will work out, confidence that, you are doing the best you can. We're not letting insecurity creep up and ruin our opportunities. So if you can work on your confidence, and confidence doesn't have to be loud. Confidence can be internal. It can be in the way you carry yourself and the decisions that you've made. Confidence is key. The next thing that I noticed is taking care of yourself physically. Now, I've always shied away from the messaging that I hear sometimes in entrepreneurial land that in order to be successful, you have to exercise every single day. It's actually made me cringe a bit because, I think for some people that works, but if you're someone who has an autoimmune disease like I do, I was just out of breath going up the stairs a few minutes ago. Or if you have other things that keep you from being able to be physically active, that messaging is incredibly harmful. The idea that you have to be exercising every morning at 5 a.m. and starting your day off that way in order to thrive. Now, no hate against people who do that. But I have enough people that I've worked with in my programs to see that that is not possible for everyone. So how can we reframe that? So something else I'm noticing then is how we take care of ourselves doesn't just mean exercise. Although exercise is good if you can, but sometimes it means going outside and putting your feet in the grass on a sunny day and just letting that vitamin D wash all over your body. Sometimes it means taking an extra nap whenever you need it. But taking care of your physical body is going to help you to be able to make the best decisions possible in your creative business. So it's going to look different for each and every one of us. And I want to honor the fact that it's going to look different for each and every one of us. But hear me very clearly when I say taking care of yourself is the hardest thing. Self care, self care, self care. It almost has lost its meaning because we've marketed it so much, right? But self care is something that you need to find out how you can fit it into your business and in your life. Because what I'm noticing is the people who are thriving are prioritizing this. The next thing that I notice is people are hiring early, no solopreneurs. Now, a lot of the people I work with are solo artists. The idea of building a team is daunting. And right now, you're probably in a place where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ever hire. Or you actually do need some help because you're trying to pitch your portfolio. trying to update your Shopify site, you're trying to take product photos, you're trying to post on social media, you're trying to make art, you're trying to make money, and you're juggling it all. And you're like, my gosh, it's very hard. I've been following Stacie's 5-hour a week framework and I'm trying to scale it. And now here I am, and I have too much. My plate is full. It might be time for you to hire. And hiring doesn't mean a W-2 employee. Sometimes it means a virtual assistant, a contractor, 5 hours a week, someone helping you with maybe shipping and assembly if you have physical product. But y'all, I just see this resistance so heavily where people want help and they're afraid to get it. And I want to encourage you that the people who are successful are the people who recognize I can't do this on my own, and they find the right players to come into their team and help them grow. And so in the mastermind I run, if you were talking to any of them, they would tell you, like, I preach this, I preach this. And at our retreat, I said, how many of you have hired? And oh my gosh, so many hands went up. And that made me so excited because those people are growing. And I want you to grow too. So don't be afraid to hire people. You can have a small team and have one person who's helping carry the vision forward, but don't shy away from it. All right, 2 more points. Marketing. We cannot get away from marketing. Marketing matters, and those early adapters in industries thrive the most. Now, there will come a point where if you are growing a profitable art business and you're doing product-based businesses, then I would highly suggest paid advertising. But that's not what we're talking about today. Maybe at some point I'll bring in my ad manager to talk to you about that because it's a great way to grow an audience. But it's not the only way. And whenever I see people really early in their businesses throw money at advertising, it breaks my heart because so often, like you have to already have something that's working and selling in order to put ad spend behind it. But ad spend is not the only way to market. Marketing means showing up. Marketing means being on social media. I used to want to validate the idea that you didn't have to show your face on social media, but over the last like 12 months, I've seen it harder and harder to not show up as a person because people want to invest in you as a person. And so you have to market. You have to get your email list set up. You have to show up on social media. You have to talk about the thing you're selling over and over and over again. You need to be in your DMs talking to the people who follow you, figuring out what they want. You need to be surveying. Marketing can be gentle. Marketing can be heartfelt. Marketing doesn't have to be skeezy. And the people who thrive adapt to the right type of marketing for their industry. So what does it look like for creative businesses? The last thing I'm going to say is that a lot of people who are succeeding, they realize that it's not about them. They realize that the success of their business is not because they are some kind of unicorn. It is the culmination of lots of things falling into place, the culmination of believing that they're not doing it alone. Maybe the idea that the universe could be on their side and wants them to succeed. It could be the idea that like a community of people and that positive energy carries them forward. It could be a religious practice. But there's this idea that we are not doing this work alone. Yeah, you could have a team, but there's something else. There's energy. There's energy, positive energy that we can harness into our careers and into our business, this lightness, this belief that the work we're doing will have impact, greater impact than a physical product. Yes, my tea towel can clean someone's spills from their counters, right? But what else can it make possible? What impact can it have? What higher purpose is there? All connected. Mindset, confidence, taking care of yourself, self-care, marketing, asking for help, taking risks, building that team. Every single person in the masterminds that I've been a part of who invest in these things, it's almost inevitable that they will succeed in one way or the other. And what I want for those of you listening right now is to hear this list of things. And I want you to challenge yourself. What are the things that Stacie's talking about today that I just shy away from? Or when she mentioned it, it felt like a gut punch because, like, oh, that's me. I don't want to market. Oh, that's me. Like, I'm afraid of having a team. Oh, that's me. I'm so insecure because I see other people further along in their businesses. If that's where you're at, I challenge you to spend the next 30 days journaling, doing your morning pages. If you read The Artist's Way, we can talk about that more in some episode, but reflecting and journaling on what the roadblock is there and how you can overcome it. Because I guarantee you, where there is resistance, on the other side of it, there is abundance. And I would love that for you. And so, masterminds. Masterminds where I'm at in my business carry me forward. I fill up my cup from them, the ones I participate in, the ones I get to lead. It just is this way to become a better leader by leading. And I'm so challenged and inspired by the people who are in the Creative Hive Mastermind that I run. And there are other ways that you can grow, even if you're not ready for a mastermind. We have a small group coaching program that's in beta right now. If that's something that interests you, I'd love for you to DM me at Leverage Your Art, and we can talk about coaching together. We have opportunities to connect, and I want you to find a way to intentionally connect. If you've ever been a part of one of my programs like Leverage Your Art or Creative Powerhouse Society, there's your group right there to start with. Seek out those relationships and find a way to find your group who's going to hold you accountable to these points that I just gave you. Because if you have a small group of people who are working on these points every single day, you're going to be shocked at how you grow together. And it's not surprising that you see some peers level up with each other at the same time. It's because they are intentional and they are focusing together. So I encourage you today to think about where you're at in your business and where you want to go and how maybe you can implement one of these points to get there faster. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow this podcast wherever you're listening to it. Apparently that's helpful. Leave a little review if you feel so inclined. And make sure that you follow me at Leverage Your Art on Instagram because we're growing that Instagram platform to differentiate from Gingiber, which is my product-based business. I'm Stacie Bloomfield. Thank you so much. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, could you do me a favor? Could you subscribe to this podcast and then share it with one of your best art friends? I'd really appreciate it. And then head on over to Instagram and follow me at the Leverage Your Art account. And you can keep up with all of our future episodes. Thank you so much for your support. It means everything to have you here listening and learning. Bye.